and gentlemen, I take pride in introducing the greatest show on earth.
Hi, everybody. This is Scott Gordon, and welcome to the Uncle Floyd podcast number 82. I'm sitting here in the studio at about 20 minutes after 1 p.m. on Friday, July 17th, recording this for you guys. Answer your questions and to maybe have a few laughs. You never know. We'll see what happens. But remember, if you want to get questions in like these good people did, please email them to ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. That's ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. I print them out and I read them and I answer them and we have a good time. Also later on, we're going to have a musical segment by Uncle Floyd, as we do every week, in remembrance of his great talent. So let's listen to the end of the theme by the Vivino Brothers Band, and I'll be right back. All right, got a stack of questions this week. Let's see what we can do with this. From Fred Velez. There was a Eubie Small Lips bit where Floyd as Eubie couldn't chew bubble gum to blow a bubble, and you came out and blew a bubble, and Eubie stuck his finger, popping the bubble all over your goatee, and you couldn't get it off, and briefly got the nickname Gumby. How long did it take you to get the gum out of your beard without shaving it off? Fred, it's television. It's a sketch. It didn't take all that long at all. All I had to do was to make it very cold, and it crumbled and combed right out. That plus a little bit of rubbing alcohol to dissolve the gum. You know, it wasn't that bad. It was just a sketch. A lot of things happen that look a lot worse than they are. From Andy McHarg in Jacksonville, Florida. I love that signature. I just watched a later year Day in the Life of the Food segment, and the quietness on the set leads me to wonder, were you using a voiceover booth, or did the studio even have one? No, the studios that we worked in did not have voiceover booths. Well, a couple of them did, but we never used them. We didn't need a voiceover booth. We wanted to be there. We wanted to see each other. We wanted to have the reaction that we would get from watching each other. So we did not use a booth. To expand on the concept, was there ever a time you feel that a booth would have saved a sketch from failing? No sketches we did ever failed. Some of them weren't very good, and the punchlines didn't work, or the prop didn't work, or, who knows. But failure was not an option. It just happened. Whatever we did, we did. This is from Charlotte Quinn. How many Bones Boys were there? Or did you guys just paint and repaint the same one? Charlotte, there were 2 or 3 Bones Boys. One had a white jacket, another one had a red jacket, and I think I remember one with a yellow jacket as well. The original Bones Boy was given to Floyd by a fan, and we saw it was funny. Floyd put it on a little stick and made a puppet out of it. After that one kind of started to get dirty, Dave Bird found a couple of the candy holders. That's what it was. It was a Halloween candy holder. And he painted one with a red jacket, and I think he also did one with a yellow jacket. And that way we had 3. And whenever the ones got worn out a little bit, Dave would repaint them. Dave was our artist in residence. And Muggsy did a lot of artwork too, but Dave did most of that kind of stuff. Also from Charlotte, one of my favorite skits so far in my short time watching is Oogie's hip-hop video interview. One of the guys involved in making the video player never got paid by Oogie. I would love to know who came up with that skit. It was fun. Anything that had to do with Oogie was written by Floyd. We could give him ideas, a concept for one of those sketches for Oogie to do, but Floyd would always do the sketch himself. Now we're going to take a little break, and I'm going to play something from the Remember One radio show with myself and Rogue. Gordon and Rogue was a show we had in the early 90s. And this is one of the sketches we did that happens to have Floyd in it. He happens to be part of it, and it's just a sketch that we did called The Bookshop. Let's stop by the Coffee Nook in a local bookseller's, where we find Alan sipping hazelnut mocha cafe and browsing through the latest Neil Gaiman compilation.
Hi, is the seat taken?
No.
I have Irish cream. What are you drinking?
I think it's mocha hazelnut.
Oh, I had that last week. It's pretty good. What you reading? A comic book?
It's a graphic novel.
Looks like it's a comic book. I mean, not to put it down or anything, because my little brother reads comics.
Well, Neil Gaiman writes adult graphic novels, not comics. Look.
Oh, it is adult. That lady's naked. Oh, is that a porno comic?
No. That is Ishtar, a Mideastern goddess, and she just happens to be dancing naked. It isn't pornography, it's artistic, using mythological references and Jungian symbology.
I saw Ishtar once. It stunk, but wasn't as bad as the critics said it was. I'm just kidding.
Don't you have anything you want to read?
No, I'm here to drink coffee.
Well, I'm here to read.
I thought we're supposed to buy books here.
I already have all these stories as separate comics. This is just a compilation of this storyline.
Then you're not going to buy that?
No, I have all these stories.
Well, aren't you afraid you'll get coffee all over the pages and ruin the book?
No, I put the coffee in my mouth, not the book. Now, I'd like to finish this.
I thought you read all the stories.
No, I said I have all the stories. I have all my comics boarded and bagged. Reading them lowers the value.
So you read them here?
Yes.
Well, does that lower the value on the graphic novel, especially if you get coffee on it?
Do you work here or something?
No.
Well, for your information, I'm reading this very carefully, and I never get coffee on the books here.
Time for me to hit the racks again. It takes a lot longer to drink coffee when you're reading.
Didn't I sit next to you on a TWA flight 2 years ago?
Were you reading an Anne Rice novel?
Probably.
Then it wasn't me. Nice chatting with you. By the way, the upper right-hand edge of the back cover has a sticky patch on it. Bye.
Hi, Alan. How's it going?
Okay, Max.
You don't look okay.
It's just that I sit here every day and I never meet anybody.
Okay, I hope you guys are enjoying that. Let me know. Come over to the Facebook page. That's the Uncle Floyd Podcast page on Facebook, and let me know, what you think of it. From Michael Lepowski. You had so many big names on the show. Was there any guest that you wanted to get that you couldn't? Did bigger networks like NJN make it easier to get them? Yeah, well, most of the guests were booked through their press agents or their agents or their managers. Of course, if you had a bigger audience with a bigger station, like when we were syndicated, we got a lot of great guests. That was because we were syndicated. The bigger the audience that they knew you had, the bigger the artist you could get. That's what we did. That it just happened that way. The bookings were done. A lot of them were done by David Bird. When David wasn't with the show, there was a production assistant named Marla Schulman who worked the syndicated show, and she took care of the guests. I've told a story about her before with Zachary. We just got them in. They came in. They said, hey, you know who we're going to have this week? Who? And they told us. Paul Simon knew Floyd. Paul and Floyd were friends, and that's how we got Paul Simon. And here we go for another question by Tim Ramsdell, Spring Lake Heights, New Jersey. Do you remember having Livingston Taylor on the show? What was he like, and how did he get on? Livingston Taylor was a really nice guy, very much into his music, very intelligent, a really smart man. He got on because of the fact we were on a couple of networks, the New Jersey Network, for instance. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've played his segment on the Tuesday night show. This was the Uncle Floyd Show. Every Tuesday night at 8 Eastern, we have a date. Maybe I'll get that on this week coming up. I don't know. Well, I'll look into it. I'll see if that will fit into what I have planned. He was a nice guy. He came on the show. He did his music. He wasn't contacted by the show. His production people got in touch with us, and they wanted to do the show. We did have a fan base, and somebody said to Livingston Taylor, why don't you go on the Uncle Floyd Show? And it happened, or his people. Maybe somebody watched the show. I have no idea. I wasn't privy to a lot of that stuff. From Stephen Gallo, Brooklyn, New York City. The cast of the Uncle Floyd Show played Manhattan's famous Bottom Line Club many times over the decades. How about a little insight on the pre- and post-show activities? Well, pre-show activities, we showed up, we set up all our props. Floyd would sit down with us and discuss what we were going to do. And if we had time, we'd go out and get a little snack or a little adult beverage or something. Floyd and I liked scotch and bourbon. That's basically all we did. We came in and we worked. And as far as after the show, sometimes we went right home. Sometimes we went out for food. It all depended on what happened. As a matter of fact, one night, Floyd got really, really bombed at the Bottom Line. He was having a rough time in his personal life, and he had a little bit too much to drink. We had what we called the boot, and it was Floyd's cowboy boot for Cowboy Charlie that we would sneak a bottle in each boot. And I think he might have almost finished one of those bottles. So he was extremely under the weather. He was going to drive home. And I said, no, you can't drive home. Yeah, I'm driving home. I'm driving. You couldn't argue with Floyd. Diane was with me. I said, Diane, you got to drive home. You got to drive the car home. Meet me at Floyd's house. I'm going to ride with Floyd. So we got into Floyd's car, and it was the most insane ride through Manhattan that I've ever taken in my life. He went through every red light. He'd come up on a red light on the street and look at it and go, F it, and keep going. Of course, he didn't say F. And just keep going. This was like 2 a.m. There was not that much on the street at the time. Then we're driving through and we get to Glen Rock, New Jersey, where he lived with his folks at the time. And we come to a traffic light that's blinking yellow, which means caution. It's late at night and they've gone to blink. They used to do that. They don't do that anymore, mostly. So it's blinking yellow, which means slow down, look both ways, and go through. He stops dead, looks both ways, takes about a minute to do it, and then keeps going. I said to him, Floyd, why did you stop at that blinking yellow light? He said, that's a dangerous intersection. So we get to Floyd's house, and we pull up in front of the house, and Diane's there already. Floyd jumps out of his car, runs over to Diane's car, jumps on the hood, looks her straight in the eye, and yells, 2, 3 a.m, yells so she can hear him, don't let him drive, he's drunk. And that's one of the stories from the Bottom Line. Guys, get the Bottom Line book. Positively Fourth and Mercer is the title of it. Written by Alan Pepper and Billy Altman with a bunch of good pictures and stuff. Floyd and I are interviewed in that book talking about the record French fry sales that we had there and a few other things, and David Bowie being in the audience. Get the book and read it. It's pretty cool. Let's keep going from Stephen Gallo. Did any cast members travel together for convenience, and what was the prep for the show and the venue like? Bottom Line is the best place in the world for any artist to work. I wish it still existed. The sound was great on the stage for the artist. A lot of these places that the act works in, you can't hear yourself too well, and the audience can hear you. But this place, it was balanced perfectly. The people were great. The house was great. Everybody could see the stage, and we just had a great time there all the time. After the show, was it time for everyone to chill and relax, or was it party time? Now, most of the time it was chill. We went to a Chinese restaurant a very famous Chinese restaurant in Greenwich Village. Ate a lot of food one night. It was Floyd, me, Charlie, and Diane, and Muggsy. We just ate ourselves sick. This is from Fred Knapp. You mentioned that you worked both a stereo store and a magic shop while you were on the show. Could you let us know what jobs the other cast members had while they were on the show? I don't like to get into the other guys' personal lives. I look at it this way. If they want to talk about it, they can do it. Muggsy worked TV. He worked for Pat Marucki. He also worked in a couple of stores. I worked in several stores. I was always working in retail. I eventually became a movie theater manager, a general manager in different movie theaters all across the state. Floyd only performed. Charlie worked in bands. He was a musician. Neto had a couple of industrial jobs, and Skip Rooney was a DJ on the radio. But other than that, anything they want to talk about, they will talk about when I have them on here. But I don't like to talk about other people's business. Other than the T-shirt, the album, and the Bioya singles, the buttons and pins and bumper stickers, well, there's any other Uncle Floyd Show merchandise available? Yeah. New Jersey Network made some stuff available. They made cups. You know, when you gave a donation, you got a reward. I have some jackets. I have some coffee cups. I have a briefcase. I have a couple of things from New Jersey Network that were giveaways for the Uncle Floyd Show. As far as we were concerned, anything we could sell, we'd try and get away with it. From Dennis DeLeo. Based on a movie that I'd seen recently with Daniel Radcliffe playing Weird Al Yankovic, if the powers that be were to make a movie about the Uncle Floyd Show, what actors, past or present, would you like to see portraying you guys? That's a hard question, Dennis. I don't know if it's even worth answering. You know, I don't know the individual proclivities or the skills of the actors today. I don't know who could possibly play me, who could possibly play Floyd. I don't think anybody could play Floyd. I really don't think so, because of all the talent that he had. Skip Rooney, you know, there's a lot of crazy comics out there who could do that kind of stuff, but nobody could do it like him. We were very much individuals. We were our own people. And besides that, it really doesn't matter anyway, because of the fact that the casting is all the director's job. The director has the entire control over who gets cast as what. So, you know, that doesn't happen. We couldn't possibly decide what we would do. From Fred Velez. On the recent Uncle Floyd Tuesday show, Tuesday night at 8, we have a date. You just go to theunclefloydshow.tv. That's theunclefloydshow.tv. It's there. We'll talk about that in a minute. On a recent Uncle Floyd Tuesday show, you ran a Cowboy Charlie bit with you playing Slim, where you were wearing a full beard rather than your usual goatee. It made you look a bit different. How long did you wear the beard before returning to your goatee? Well, that was in the early 1990s, and I just decided at that point I wanted to see what my real hairline was. So I grew everything, and I kept it for maybe about 6 to 8 months, and then went back to the goatee, and eventually shaved my head totally except for the goatee, because of the fact that the toupee didn't fit well anymore, and I was just tired of dealing with it. So that's what happened there. All right. That's going to just about wrap it up. I got a song by Uncle Floyd coming up right away as soon as we take care of a little business. Again, if you want to get a question into me here, all you have to do is email it to ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. That's ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. And we will take care of it. We'll give it to you. We'll have some good fun here answering the questions and having some laughs. We show clips of the Uncle Floyd Show every Tuesday night at 8. We have a date, 8 p.m. Eastern. And you just go to theunclefloydshow.tv. That's theunclefloydshow.tv. Takes you right there. It costs $5. That $5 keeps this going. That keeps this podcast going. That keeps the live stream on Tuesday night going. And people are kind enough to tip there too and give us a little extra money to help out because it is expensive to do this and we don't make much money on it. Last month alone, I got like $32 for doing the podcast. That was it. That's what we get for the commercials. Don't go fast through the commercials. Please listen to them. They know if you can fast forward through them. And that gets us a little bit of money. It gets us a couple cents every time you listen to it. Also, in the description of this show, you'll see a link where if you would like to give a little bit towards this show, you can do it towards the podcast only without coming to the live stream. So come to the live stream, theunclefloydshow.tv, theunclefloydshow.tv, or if you have a chance, if you have a couple of cents you want to send us, just click on that link in the description. It says click here and also has the entire link typed out. You can click there and it'll take you right to a place where you can donate to us and get this going and keep this going and keep the memory of Uncle Floyd alive, who always said that he was so touched by the fact that you people remember him and love to listen to this stuff and love to get a few laughs and enjoy some of the music he used to play, which we're coming up in a second. But remember, the most important thing to any show is you, the audience. Without you coming here, without you helping out, giving a little bit of a tip, stopping by to see this was the Uncle Floyd Show at theunclefloydshow.tv. Without you doing that, this would not happen. We couldn't do it. So please help me keep Uncle Floyd's memory alive and keep the fun that we always had doing this alive. Right now, we're going to close off with a song by Uncle Floyd, one he used to play all the time on the TV show. And this is just him in 2009, just sitting at the piano, playing the song just for you. See you next week. Here's Uncle Floyd.
She's a real nice girl, but don't bring Lulu. You could bring Rose with a turned up nose, but don't bring Lulu. Lulu always wants to do what we boys don't want her to. Every time she struts around, London bridges are falling down. You could bake a cake or a porterhouse steak, but don't bring Lulu. Lulu gets blue and she goes cuckoo like the clock up on the wall. She's a real darn smarty, she breaks up every party. Hullabaloola, pasta vazula, I'll bring Lulu myself. London bridges are falling down. You could bake a cake or a porterhouse steak, but don't bring Lulu. Lulu gets blue and she goes cuckoo like the clock up on the wall. Why, she's a real darn smarty. She breaks up every party. Hullabaloola, pasta bazoola, I'll bring Lulu myself.
This program was produced in the studios of Scott Gordon Enterprises, Incorporated in Paramus, New Jersey.